If you had asked my younger, more impressionable self what the best all-around car in the world might be, I might have said this, the Lancer Evolution. To a teenager, it was the stuff of dreams, a multi-purpose sports sedan with true rally car heritage. It had one of the most advanced all-wheel drive system of its time. It was inexpensive relative to its incredible performance, and crucially, it wasn't available in the United States, meaning the only way you could experience it was by driving hours and hours into your favorite video game. It was a dream, but the thing with dreams is that they always have the chance of crumbling when they become reality. So now, older, slightly wiser, we can see if the Evo still holds up. We'll start with what the Evo always excels at, and that is performance numbers. Now, for acceleration, we have all-wheel drive, we have a manual transmission, we have a clutch, and launching this thing with any speed means a lot of clutch slip. You can launch at about 5,500 RPM, you can actually rev more than that, the engine limits you, and then you just slip the clutch painfully out of the hole. It takes a couple gear shifts to get to 60. You'll be in third gear past 60, which you'll hit in 4.8 seconds. And you'll actually hit the quarter mile in fifth gear. You go through all the gears in the quarter. That's how short the gearing is in this car. And we'll do that in 13.4 seconds at just over 100 miles an hour. Now for 60 to 0 braking, our result was not, I don't think, indicative of what the Evo can actually do. It took 118 feet to stop from 60. The thing about the Evo is it behaves so differently than pretty much every other car you may throw around a handling track. You have understeer if you don't know what to do with this car, but if you commit to the throttle, the cool thing about this all-wheel drive system is that it overdrives, like in this left-hand corner, the outside front tire, the inside rear tire. So you keep your steering angle set and the car just sort of claws its way around a corner. You can actually get the car in pretty big drifts too if you're big on the steering inputs. A little bit of counter steering, you basically keep the steering wheel straight while the car's going around a corner. It's huge fun, and it's also pretty fast. I mean, the lap time this GSR put down was 1/10 slower than the last MR we tested, but it's still in the territory of the BMW M3, the Lexus ISF. I mean, it might even be up there a couple tenths behind a Porsche Cayman or a Boxster. Not bad for a $30,000 sedan. So the Evo performs rather amazingly at the test track. I mean, it lays down a handling number on our figure 8 course that would embarrass a lot of the German sports sedan rivals. And this is about half the price of some of those cars. On the road, you figure out why, because it's basically half the car. It's the performance half of this car. This may be a sedan. It has technically 4 seats, but it's not the most comfortable car in the world. It's far from it. This thing is rather sharp riding. You get a big drone from the engine. This thing is definitely not made to be ridden in comfort. Of course, you don't expect that getting an Evo. You expect this to be a raw performance sedan, and that's exactly what you get. But it is funny noting that difference. This car was one of my dream cars when I was a teenager. This, the GTR, the RX-7, the NSX, and so on. But what separated this car was that it was attainable. It didn't cost a lot of money. And driving it now, you realize why. But you also see why this was such a favorite amongst enthusiasts, and it's because of how focused it is and how fun it is to drive. Sure, you look at it, you know, before you drive, afterwards, and you think, yeah, it's got bad gas mileage, the ride's not that comfortable, and so on. But I tell you, when you're driving it, you start making arguments to yourself about why you could own one, why you should buy one. And that's simply due to the fact of how much fun it is. It's precise, it's agile, it just wants you to have a good time. On the road, you also realize just how short the gearing is in this 5-speed. When you're on the freeway, you're doing 70 miles an hour, the engine's buzzing about 3,500 RPM, maybe a little bit less. And because of that, it goes through fuel at an alarming rate. You're lucky to get 200 miles to the tank out of this thing. I mean, a Tesla Model S will take you further. The thing of it is, in today's world, 291 horsepower doesn't seem like a lot, nor does 300 pound-feet of torque. I mean, the Mazda Speed 3, the Focus ST make nearly that much, and they're just front-drive economy cars. But for some reason, this feels more capable. I'm able to hold higher speeds. I'm able to plunge in corners faster and come out of them faster as well. And I think that's partly to do with the extra grip that you get with power application, and also the way the drive system is helping you come around corners. But it certainly doesn't feel like just 291 horsepower. The whole car, I mean, you're getting a lot of vibrations and impacts from rough road, but it's not the stuff that ever jars you from your path. It's stuff that communicates loudly, but communicates nonetheless what the road's doing and how you should follow it. This car doesn't have much roll, it doesn't have much dive, it just sort of stays flat, and it's really easy to control because of that. We started this episode attempting to think about the Evo rationally, but doing so does this car a disservice. Don't let the extra seats and doors confuse you. This is not a rational car. It's not meant for fuel economy or comfortable commuting. No, it's too focused, it's too aggressive, but that's why it's so wonderfully unique. The manic way it devours roads and tracks makes you addicted. Driving it feels like getting away with something.